Oh my gosh.
This hair, though.
Is that my signature, like length?
Yes.
Right?
All the time. Fix me.
But fix her hair. It's a little weird.
Fix the pieces. Just make sure it's big.
Just make sure it's big.
But for real, it's fine.
Hey friends, welcome back to Pastors' Wives Tell All. All month long, we are interviewing some of our close friends. So you can see that as pastors' wives, you can have friends too. Get ready for fun, laughter, maybe some tears along the way, and enjoy these conversations. Let's get to it.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
I'm Jenna.
And I'm Stephanie,
And you are listening to Pastors' Wives Tell All.
a podcast by pastors' wives for church leaders and anyone desiring to take a peek inside our glass house.
We are breaking down walls and crushing pastors' wives stereotypes within the church.
We want pastors' wives and other ministry leaders to know that they are not alone in this. Plus, this is basically therapy for the three of us with a whole lot of dance parties. Whoop, whoop.
Guess what, guys? We have another really cool person on the podcast with us this week.
We sure do.
Do you see her? This is Jenna's friend, but she's also
Yes,
our
she's our
friend
friend
now.
too. Yes.
So we're all in this together. Yeah.
We never
I
know
know
the
the
words.
name.
I never know
Oh.
the words of the song
We should
ever.
learn the
Wow,
words.
cats.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. LaWanda, a.k.a. L.A.
L.A.
Oh.
This is Jenna. This is one of her close friends, and they have known each other for a long time.
It
So,
really has been
Yes.
so
a long time.
of course, this is our friendship month. We are talking all things friendship.
Yeah.
And LaWanda and Jenna have been in each other's lives and in the same ministries and everything for a long time. So, LaWanda, can you kind of share, how did you meet this beautiful lady right here?
Yes. I think I was thinking about this question. I think we met that I can remember for the first time. Was it like 2010, 11?
You're asking me to remember dates now.
I think it was around that time because we met through Brett and Katie.
Yes.
Brett and Kate Whitmore, shout out to
Yes.
them. They're in Tennessee.
Yes. So I worked for CSU Bookstore, and Brett and I worked together. And the Whitmores and the Allens were going to church together at the time. And I was singing like I'm always singing. And Brett knew that I was in church, but I was detaching a little bit from where I was serving at that particular place or trying to figure life out. And I think Jeffrey May was doing auditions for something. Anyway, that's how I got hooked up with Eminent. And that's, long story short, that's how I met Jenna.
So, Imminent Worship is the worship nonprofit that my husband, he didn't start it, but he kind of took it over to oversee for several years. Like he stepped out of full-time teaching to pursue that full-time because he just loved it so much. And so LaWanda was a big part of that.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Really big part. I think that's the first time we met as well.
Yeah, through Eminent.
That was how many years ago? Somebody do the
It
math.
was so long, y'all.
It was a long time ago.
Can we talk about LA's voice and how she can sing? And it's not just sing, it's sing.
Oh, y'all sweet. Thank y'all.
Like absolutely beautiful and just worshipful. Like I literally am just like, we are in the presence of the Lord.
Yeah.
I feel like you have that gift. So absolutely love it. Question.
Yes.
What did you think when you first met Jenna Poo Poo here? Honestly.
When I first met Jenna, I don't think I had any forethought. Do you know sometimes people like are really thinking really hard when they meet people and like, do I like them or do I not? I'm not like that. Like I'm just like, we vibe or we don't. Jenna was really quiet. I can say that. She was definitely someone that's wanted to hide and be behind the scenes and please don't look at me too hard. But she was always fun. Like when I would look at her, she was always laughing with her head back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, girl, what is so funny? She did it right now. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But y'all like watch those movies where people are laughing like,
Yeah.
no. But so I really was drawn to that, I guess, for just her joy. But I don't think I had any like forethought of like, I like her or didn't like her. She didn't have like any, sometimes you can see where people are guarded or anything like that. She was very approachable, very sweet, always kind. Yeah.
So, okay. So through this month, we are talking about friends that we have within our church. So, of course, Jenna and you knew each other before actually y'all were in the same church. So for you, like, when was the first time that you knew that moment or that season of your life that you knew that hey, I could trust her? I could trust telling things to, knowing that she wouldn't judge me no matter what her ministry title was, or that Ian was like over you with ministry with Eminent.
Yeah, so I don't think it was even with Eminent. The first thing that comes to my mind when you like ask that question is when Ian was serving as a youth pastor, and that's kind of like when I feel like our relationship really grew and we became closer. I think during that season of my life, I was still. Aren't we always trying to figure things out? Forever. Every season we're trying to figure it out.
Yes.
But I know that was another season where I was trying to figure out life. And it wasn't like she was overly like, oh, let me pray for you and let's talk about Jesus. She was just like, let me be your friend. And let's just hang out. And I naturally isolate when I am trying to figure things out and I don't really know how to process. I naturally kind of go into myself because I'm very introspective. And sometimes you can get lost in that. You know, you can get lost in your mind in that. And Jenna kind of was like, I see you. Come on, come hang out, come do this. And then I think another big one that I can think about like time was during COVID. And I'm about to cry. Wait.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh. No crying. During COVID, you know, I'm a single woman. I live by myself. Well, I had somebody live with me at the time, but that's a different story.
It's fine.
But, you know, so I'm by myself and birthdays are a really big deal for me. And I had thought about, like, I really want to, like, before, because nobody knew COVID was happening until it happened, right? So previous, I was like, I'm going to do this brunch, this boho thing, and I'm going to do it outside, and we're going to show her all these pictures and things. And I wasn't asking her to do it. I was just saying this is what I was going to do. And I told her this. I'm sure I told you this probably like 8 months prior to all this happening. And I remember my birthday coming around and the world had shut down at this point. We were still hanging out because I lived literally right down the street from her at the time. Please don't. We were safe. So yes, we were safe. But yeah, so we were still hanging out and she kept asking, she's like, what are you going to do for your birthday? And I was like, nothing. I'm just be at home. I was kind of down about it. And I remember her was like, well, just come hang out. Because that's Jenna's, just come hang out. Just come hang out with me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be at home by myself. So I might as well be over here. And she was like, and we'll just get Mexican because I love Mexican food. She was like, we'll just get some Mexican. What do you want for Mexican? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. So she ordered the food or whatever. And then I get over here. And Jenna, I think she went to your house and like got and she
Picked
like,
up all her stuff. Yeah.
She made you a really precious.
It was so sweet. And I was like, I literally cried. Like I was like, no one
We
has
didn't
ever.
expect. I was like,
Yeah, because I'm
are you
not.
okay?
I think as I'm getting older, I'm becoming more of a crier. But at that point, I don't think I was a big crier. So I think I did. You were like, it's okay.
I was like, are you okay?
But
But it was so much fun.
But
the
that
backyard.
was literally the sweetest thing. And I don't think I had ever experienced anything like that, particularly in friendship before. Like I may have experienced something similar to that, maybe romantically, but just like a sister or a friend caring so much about what you care about and just wanting to make your day. Like I think we don't have that enough. And I'm just so thankful that she did that for me. And I think that kind of like, I was like, oh, this girl is the real deal. Like she actually is a great person, and not just a great person, but she actually deeply loves me.
Yeah.
And that was like, just like an example of that. And I've always told her like, I'm so thankful for you. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're gonna make me cry now.
Well, hold on. Before we move on, Jenna, like we've heard Lawanda talk a lot. So for you, you know, knew her before you took the ministry position at the Methodist Church, and y'all were youth pastors. So how was that, you know, coming into being a pastor's wife, and then y'all had already started a friendship, but it wasn't like super close then. How was that with Lawanda? Did you have a hard time going, can I trust her? Can I say certain things around her now that we're in this position. Like, how is that for you? Because there are a lot of women out there that are bringing a friendship into a new ministry position. Can I hold on to that? And of course, y'all are testament that you can, but how was that for you?
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, I never felt that I couldn't like say things to her. Like she just always has been somebody that I felt like I could trust and that I, could tell anything to.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, that season being at that church, because it was so out of my comfort zone, like I had no idea what I was doing as a youth pastor's wife, and I had been a youth pastor's wife before, but I really didn't know what I was doing that first season. But that age group just intimidated me so badly. It's better now. I don't know. LaWanda just is so much fun, and she came in and like she would lead worship sometimes, but she came in and she was a leader.
What was the dance?
The church clap.
Yeah,
we would do church clap at the end. It was just so much fun. We always looked forward to the end so that we could all dance. So that's one thing that we have in common is we both love to dance too. So, but yeah, I just always felt like I could tell her anything, and I feel like helped me be like more myself in that scenario, because I honestly it was so out of my comfort zone, but I felt like having her there with me helped tremendously, like me walk through that season with a little bit more confidence. And then there were times too when on Sunday mornings, like a lot of people don't know this, but I actually offered to help Ian, like on a offered to help Ian on an Easter, because like he had like people out of town and like there was not a worship team, and that is so out of my comfort zone, but I felt like the Lord said, you need to like offer to help on Sunday morning. And so I got up there and I don't remember, were you there that Easter? You were? Okay. My memory is like, it makes me sad sometimes how I can't remember like details of things.
Because I saw it.
There is a video of it somewhere, but still that to this day, like that's totally out of my comfort zone. But having her there, like just through me walking through that season of being uncomfortable and like doing something that I would not typically do, like it just having that familiar face.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that really, truly, for people that are not in leadership positions within a church, you could be, instead of being scared to like befriend one of the pastor's wives or ministry leaders, really know that you could be an unanswered prayer. Like you could be the person, instead of going, oh, I know she's too busy, or I don't know if she wants to hang out with me, or, whatever. You could be who she's praying for. And like, we can clearly hear that in Jenna's testimony that LaWanda made it easy for her in a hard place in her mind and in her heart, going, this is out of my comfort zone. LaWanda was able to be that soft spot that she landed on, to be able to do ministry to the fullest at that time. So like, just ask for coffee, ask, to go hang out with them or dance with them or just whatever to make them feel comfortable. For sure. I think what Jenna's saying is so many pastors' wives and ministry leaders is they're not comfortable in their position. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're not. And it's because they're human and we all doubt what we're doing. And, but to have a friend that's not just there to like get something from us, but to actually love us is such a blessing.
Yeah. So I love that this friendship has been through like multiple seasons because, you were doing imminent worship together, not together. But you know what I mean.
Kind of together. Lead team, doing stuff.
Okay, see? Yeah, so you did do it together. Then you're talking about at the previous church. And then now you're at the church together, a different church. So like how has that been in each season? Like how have you seen each other grow, or how have you, I don't know, is it still the same? Has your friendship blossomed? Has it like what have been the ups and downs? I don't know. I'm just curious.
Well, one thing I really do love, and I don't think I've told her recently this, but I've told her before, is that I love being able to see her grow, just seeing her confidence and seeing how she just has taken on whatever she puts her hands to is blessed. Like whether it's her photography or this podcast, what y'all are doing and how y'all are changing people's lives. And so I've always just been a big cheerleader of her because it's been really cool to see like someone that does just want it. And I think there's still a part of her that will prefer the background than the front, than the spotlight. but she's not afraid to be and do if God is calling her.
Right.
The anxiety is not overwhelming, and you can visibly see that. And so seeing her grow in that has been such a beautiful thing. And it takes courage to be obedient. You know what I mean? Like sometimes God will ask us to do things and it's outside of our comfort zone and it's outside of what we want to do. And we have to have courage to be obedient to what he's asking us to do. And so I'm so proud of you.
You're gonna make me cry. Stop. Okay.
It's been really cool to see. So,
But I mean, that goes for you too, though, because I mean, like Stephanie said, like, we have been through so many different seasons, and I'm sitting here thinking about like the ups and the really low downs that both of us have been through, and I mean, even though we've gone through seasons of not being as close or not seeing each other as often, I know without a shadow of a doubt, if I ever needed her or if she ever needed me, like I'm dropping everything.
absolutely.
And I think that's how you know that you found your people is that you can go through those seasons of, okay, it's really, really crazy busy. You're not able to be physically together
all the time.
But like, without a shadow of a doubt, I would be there if she needed me.
We know we're each other's inner circle.
Yeah.
I think that's important. I think I was listening to Charlotte Gamble talk about that, and she was saying about what she would tell her younger self, and she would say, don't carry too much baggage, like knowing who your core is.
Right.
I think sometimes we live in a world where people think, oh, I have to talk to you every day, or I have to be in your world for every little thing that you do. And yes, you want them to be a part, but two of my best friends don't live in the same city. That doesn't make them not my best friends. You know what I mean? Like,
but when you're together, you make it count.
Yes.
And it's natural.
And it's natural. And you just make it count.
Yeah.
So for sure, like with both of you, neither one of you, even to this day, have a hard time opening up to each other about deep dark.
Not one bit.
And like we just had yesterday, I was like, girl, we need to do.
I said, come over, because we were supposed to podcast yesterday, but then it thunderstormed. And so I was like, well, why don't you come over anyway? Let's just hang out, because I had the whole day.
And then, but to be honest, like even if there is any hesitation on my part, that's the enemy. And I've learned I have to take control of my own mind.
Right.
And be like, wait, no, this is not her character. She has not shown that person to me.
Right.
So let me give her the benefit of the doubt if there is an all. Yeah. Let me say, I don't know Jenna to be that person, so let me call her, or can we talk? Did something happen? Do I need to apologize for something? Like, and most of the time she's like, girl, no. My life's just crazy. And I'm like, okay, mine too. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't want to make it seem like everything's always sunshine and rainbows, because we're real people with real circumstances. You know what I mean? And people are walking through real things. And I think sometimes that can be, when we live in this social media age, people really feel like, oh, everything is so, and it's like, no, because life can life. And that's okay.
You are so right.
But it's really important to know who your people are.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I think that's a word too for just pastors' wives listening, because, and for the members that maybe they're good friends with, because sometimes it is just way busy. And honestly, like, we want to be there, but sometimes we just can't, because we're feeling pulled in a million different directions. And I know for this one, I know she's pulled in about a million different directions. And half the time, like, the three of us talk because we're working. And it's the sad part of just being a grown up, I guess, and having kids, or going to church, or being a part of a ministry,
well,
you know,
that's the part
work.
of being Christian,
Just
like,
in general.
not having the spirit of offense. I think a lot of times people are desiring things, and so then they shut down to where they're not opening up, they're not saying things. So just taking her away from her title, or taking you away from your title, or you away from your title as
just
a
in
human
general.
being, how does this person show up, and how can I show up for them? And if it's not aligning, that doesn't mean that it can't. It just means that we have to figure it out and not be offended.
I think that's like one of the biggest things. Like, man, like lately I had 2 Africa trips back to back, and I could just think to like church and friends. I have had moments where I'm like, I have not checked in on so and so and so and so, and you know, 7 other people. But like, it's almost like my brain is so tired to even want to, because I had to come home and get right back to everything.
And you have kids and a husband.
And everything. And like, but then I have those moments and I'm like, well, actually nobody's checked in on me, you know? And so I can also be that person that can have a moment of going, well, I mean, they haven't checked in on me. It's okay if I don't check in on them. Like, But I can also go to the negative, like you said, that spirit of offense of like them not even checking in on me, and like, and I've told them. I know I've told Stephanie and Jenna this, even with them. I've told them, hey, you didn't ask how I was doing. You didn't talk to me while I was in Africa, so I just didn't talk back. Like, so I can go to that introspective of going, you know, they're not checking in. But to say all that, like, I think that we have to be very careful. And so I think what you said, LaWanda, is so important of that spirit of offense, of checking in, going, Jenna, that's not her character.
Right.
Instead of getting ticked off and just going silent, that's not her character. Hey, is anything wrong?
Yeah.
Or, hey,
how are you?
Steph, Jenna, this bothered me that you didn't ask, you know, how I was doing. And be open and honest on this is why I backed off or didn't say much.
Hey friends, we just wanted to let you know we just finished up a shoe drive where we collected gently used shoes to help raise money for this Pastor's Wives ministry. And man, y'all came out and helped.
Yep, they sure did.
That felt right.
It did.
Anyway,
Wow.
So 1 week we did have a competition to see which church could collect the most shoes, and we have a winner.
Okay, guys, drum roll, please. And the winner is the Village Church. Woo! Woo! And this is Lacey Collins Church, which we actually know Lacey Collins. She is one of our dear friends. We absolutely love her.
Yes.
And guys, just thank you so much for blessing our socks off. And our
No
shoes.
pun intended.
And our shoes. How many shoes did they get together?
230 pairs of shoes.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
That's a lot of feet.
That's a lot of shoppers.
That's a lot of feet. That is a lot of feet.
But guys, truly, thank you so much for just blessing the ministry and being part of this. And again, thank you, Katie, for everything that you are doing. She is driving states to go get shoes. Like
Driving
insane.
states.
Driving states.
And
Y'all
Katie,
figure out that
Katie is our sort of assistant.
Yes.
She has just come on and said, hey, I just want to help the ministry.
Yeah. So
She's amazing.
we're
Katie, we
super-
love you.
super grateful to the Village Church. And also the Village Church, if you were listening, know that that is the name of my church. Therefore, I love you even more.
Oh, that's special.
We love you, Lacey.
And not in this relationship, but this actually happened in another relationship with a friend. She lives in California. She's in ministry. She has a lot going on with time difference. Not that much, but we know what I'm saying. So, but I thought something was going on because like we at least check in a few times, you know, a month, and it has been dead silent. And so I immediately went to, oh, like she hates my guts.
Yeah,
you know what I
something. I
mean?
did
Like,
something.
yeah, like offended, or it's always my fault, or I did something, you know. And we had a conversation. She was like, I've been going through it. And she said, next time, don't automatically assume it's you. Just say, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we get so busy, and even me, like, people are thinking I'm upset. I'm like, y'all, I'm just trying to survive. Like, I'm trying to keep my head above water.
Yeah.
And I think that happens a lot with leaders. Like, y'all are just trying to keep y'all's head above water.
Yeah.
And me too. Like, I desperately just want someone to
People in
say,
general. How are
hey,
you?
are you okay? Like, or how are you? How's things going? And generally wait for the response.
Yes.
Not the Southern thing of, hey, how you doing? And keep walking. You know what I mean?
For real. How are
Yeah.
you really?
Yeah, exactly. So I would
that's
say
good.
listen to that on leaders and friendships in general. Don't always expect for them, even if they're friends, don't always expect them to be the one checking in. Look at your cell phone and look how many times you've texted people because you care about what's going on in their life.
Yeah,
right.
that's good.
Versus you answering, you know, questions of people checking in on you.
Yeah.
Get outside of your box
Absolutely.
and like stop just self-reflecting and do a better job of loving your friends.
Get out of your head.
Yes.
So, speaking of offense or taking offense, has there been a time, maybe recently, a while back, where you guys did have to work through something and maybe you needed to talk it out, or maybe you felt like there was a problem, but maybe there wasn't, but you just had to talk through things? Is there a time like that?
So when we started to get busy with the podcast and the ministry, and we started traveling a little bit more with the retreats and everything, I can just remember having a moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to LaWanda in a while. And I struggle with the people pleasing thing. I'm trying to do better at it, but I literally thought, oh my gosh, this is my fault. Like, I'm such a bad friend. my brain has been going in 90 different directions. I can't even keep up with my house right now. Like I just had all these thoughts going through my head. And I just remember thinking, she probably thinks I'm an awful person. Like I can literally remember this is just what was going through my head.
Yeah. You said it out loud. I remember you saying that out
Did
loud.
I? I'm so glad somebody else remembers my life because I don't remember half of it most of the time. She's always the one who's like, don't you remember when this happened? And I'm like, yeah, but thank you for reminding me.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, but I really did. I had that moment where I was like, I feel terrible. And so I just remember like we met at Iron Bank Coffee that day. Do you remember that?
I'm trying. No.
Because I was like, we haven't hung out forever. And so I came to the coffie shop and I just felt like I needed to like apologize for me being so busy.
Say?
I don't remember. You should ask Jessica.
You didn't ask Jessica.
She wasn't there, but she was
I threw my head back like for real and realized it in the moment. I've never noticed that about myself before. I'm like, oh my God.
I didn't either. Now I'm going to pay attention
I
to
know.
it. I'm going to
Every
think
time
of
she
LA
laughs,
every
look.
time.
Maybe that's what my neck hurts sometimes. I gotta fix my hair again now. Okay. Anyway. But I really did. I remember like I just felt so bad. And I wanted to make sure you knew that I still loved you.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want you to know that like our friendship is still a priority to me. It's just I
You're
can't keep up with my own
overwhelmed.
life right now. And so I like just some seasons I just was feeling so like called to what I was doing, but then our family life was suffering more than it is now at the time. And I just felt like I've got to put my family as priority. Like, and I just felt like, okay, how am I going to make room for like everything else I want to make room for?
Sure.
But like, you know, and that's, I remember it being a really good conversation and it was an emotional conversation, but, I just felt so bad. Like I was like, I'm so sorry, like that I haven't been here.
I do remember that conversation, but I didn't realize how much it affected you. Like, because I didn't see it that way. I think when Stephanie asked that question, I was really trying to think hard. I don't feel like we have ever had, like, between us, ever had, like,
super like,
any issue.
drama.
I think if drama happened between us, it was because it was happening around us. And not with us.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
can't think of anything
yeah,
either
'cause
that
I'm
was
like,
like
I
directly
can't.
between
I
us
was
at
like,
all.
You've never talked about anything.
I'm like, I don't. And so I think there have been seasons to where, or times to where I would feel like the enemy may put up in my mind, like, is something going on because of things that are going on around? And I know she's around, and I'm like, I hope she remembers my character. I hope she remembers who I am. And if something was going on, that she would talk to me. Like, because that's what matters most to me in friendship. Don't believe what other people are saying. Come to me.
Yeah,
That's
Talk
right.
to me.
And I will tell you, this girl right here, that is one of the things that I respect about her the very most is because she, if there's an issue, she is Matthew 18.
Yeah.
Like, she follows that to the T. And that is so admirable because people do not do that today. They just don't. And she's so good about it. And it's taught me so much because, like, you know, I grew up, like, we just kind of ignored things and swept things. And, you know, I'm not, like, bashing my childhood, but, like, ultimately, like, I had to learn that. I had to learn, like, let's talk about things. Like, let's figure out what's really going on in a situation and not just like assume something because the enemy will use that over and over again.
Yeah, and that's why I'm that way, because I've walked through that to where the enemy has used that over and over again, where you've talked to this person and then this person talked to this person, and now the telephone game and the message has totally changed.
Absolutely.
And it's like, that ain't even what I said or how I said it, you know? And so, like I said, I don't think anything has happened between us. That would be the only thing that I could think of like, not always, but if there was a time, it would be that. It would be me in my mind having to question, and then I would reach out sometimes I'll just pray about it and move on. I don't think everything needs to have a conversation. Right. I think sometimes you need to take it to the Lord in prayer, and he gives you the wisdom to pursue or not.
Yes.
But I've just always trusted Jenna's character. Yeah. And I felt like if something was going on, she would tell me, especially if I asked her directly. And I've learned to be direct with her.
Yes.
And that's my personality anyway. Like, I've just learned to be that way, especially in conflict. Let's just talk it out. Let's get it out. Let's say it all.
Let's
because
not
I don't
leave
want to
any
go
room for wondering what.
Yes.
You know.
And I don't want to have to circle back. I don't want to have to say, and another thing. Like, let's just
Lay it all out on the table.
Well, a couple of things that I have, because I've gotten to watch your friendship over the years. One of the coolest things is I love to think back at times where y'all have championed each other, so, or just like totally had each other's back or was there. So like I go back to like when you were having surgery and Jenna was there a lot, bringing food over and doing, even I got to come over one night, we were doing clothes, but I knew Jenna had been over there a whole lot, and just there, like every step of the way for that, and just
Or making sure we
encouraging.
were praying.
Yes,
Yeah.
And then, you know, like I can think like, man, like Lawanda was like one of the first people there and wanted to serve at our book signing.
Oh my
And
gosh,
was there
yes.
to, you know, that's the mark of a true friend when you can be there, even when like no one else is watching.
Yeah.
But also to be the biggest cheerleaders for each other. So it's just it's cool to have watched Shell's friendship over the years, and even though it might have had seasons and you don't see each other as much, like you say, but then sometimes, man, I remember Lawanda was always at your house. You know,
I
you
lived over here.
Yeah, and so it's just different seasons, and it's just great because it just it's the history.
Yeah.
And
Also, she loves my kids so well.
she does love
Like that's one thing that I truly like just love about you is you, and I appreciate that about you, is how well you love my kids. Like that means so much. Like yesterday when she was over here, Avery got home from school and she said, "Hey, I'm gonna school you in basketball. Let's go." And she went out in the driveway and she dragged me out there with her.
I was like, come on, Jenna.
And then I made me a couple
She
hoops.
got a shot. She got some shots in. I said, okay, girl.
Look at that little cheerleader.
I'm not gonna lie, I had fun. I didn't like being out in the humidity for
was
you know,
terrible, y'all.
but you know what? It was very hot and humid, but I had fun. I kept thinking like I need to do it. I need to get out and do something like this more often.
Yeah.
I don't know. She
When you
did so
do
well.
things.
See what happens when you do things. Oh, I can't remember what that was
Oh
from,
my
but that
gosh.
was so great.
Okay, so before we let you go,
Okay.
Lawanda, aka LA.
Okay.
We have 3 questions that we would love to ask you, and these
Okay.
are just just the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
I'm ready.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of friendship advice, what would it be?
Wow. I would say choose wisely. And go all in.
Ooh.
Meaning, like I was saying earlier, like choose who you feel like that has shown you that loves you unconditionally and that you can love unconditionally, and go all in with them. Don't tiptoe with them. Let them know you love them and show them that you love them. Show them you enjoy spending time with them. Show them that you actually like them, because I think there's a difference between love and like.
Yeah.
Like, we are commanded to love. We're not commanded to like. And so sometimes we put up with people and say, I love you. And that's not the same as actually enjoying spending time with them. And sometimes people don't know. And so investing in the things that they like and championing the things that they like, but also allowing that to happen back to me. Because I think any relationship is give and take. But I think throughout my life and my friendships, I've been always, especially when I was younger, I would be the one to like pour and pour and pour and pour. And then I'm left empty.
Me too, girl.
And sitting in the corner crying and lonely. And so that has, as an adult now, I see why I pull back. Because I'm like, oh, I'm doing too much and they're not going to reciprocate. And so, you know what I mean? And so if I told my younger self, like, identify who they are, identify who your lifers are, who your people are, who the people that you know that's got your back no matter what, and go all in with them. Like, don't wait for tomorrow to tell them and be with them.
I like it.
I like it.
Okay, so we know you love to play basketball together.
All right. Basketball is my favorite sport.
Ooh, it's actually mine. I'm not
mine
good at
too,
it,
but
but
I'm
I
not
love
good at it.
watching it. And I sort of tried to play it in high school. It wasn't good. Anyway, it didn't work out
Hey,
too well.
she got full basketball courts over by her house, so we should all go out there one day. And
That would be hilarious. You're
no, she really does.
No,
Like,
really did.
right
Yeah.
across the street from her house.
Yeah, when she was folding my laundry with me.
That's right.
The two
And
of
tell me
us
I got
cannot
the
be on a
same
team. The two of us, we're going to have to split up among these two. Anywho, with that in mind,
Okay.
what is your favorite thing to do for fun with Jenna?
Oh, she always makes you do dance parties. Jenna's always wanted to dance. She's always like, I think we haven't done it recently, but we would do game nights. We both love games, and really just hang out there's not like a specific activity. I feel like anything that I do with Jenna is fun. So even like when we're just talking, like I really enjoyed yesterday, and we hadn't done that in a while. So I'm kind of glad we had to reschedule, because that allowed me to have space in my schedule and her to have space in her schedule. For and I didn't expect to be over here all day, and I was here all day until I had to go to small group. So
it was fun.
But
that is fun.
I don't think I have anything specific. I think
I enjoy that we can just like plop on the couch and just like we can do nothing, but also we can go deep, but also we can have fun and dance, like all in like the same sentence.
Literally,
like
that's everything we did yesterday. Well, we didn't dance, but
we didn't.
No,
we didn't dance.
We should dance.
We should
today.
dance before.
Yeah,
before
you
leave
should
today.
Yep. That sounds
Great.
good.
I'm down.
Seriously though,
I mean, I'll try.
we should do a reel with Lawanda.
So
we should do.
Should.
We should show her the one that we recorded right before this and see if she can watch her like pick it up in 2 seconds while me and Stephanie are over here going.
I cannot dance. I wish.
I'm sorry.
I can dance. I take that back.
Wonder.
But my sister has more of the rhythm than I do. I'm not the rhythm girl, but I can't pretend.
I remember.
I'm
like,
pretty
that was
sure
one of
you
the
got
first
more than
times,
me.
Like I got to hang out with you. Like remember when you invited her over to pool day?
Yes,
And we were like,
yes.
and then we danced in the kitchen like for a long time.
I don't know why she over here
do
saying
that
she
again?
can't
It was
dance.
fun.
That we
Let's
had a good
Can
time.
someone come clean out my pool first? Thank you.
Is it still green?
It still is.
I say
green.
yes to this plan.
Let's do it.
Yes, that was so fun.
Okay, Jenna.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So I have the third question. Okay. Are you ready for your last and final question?
Yes.
Okay. So what would you say to someone who might be in a season of loneliness right now?
Wow. Don't isolate.
Good.
Don't do it.
Did you hear her?
Don't isolate. I was literally, and this is something that I'm preaching to myself. It's so easy to isolate. I was talking to someone on the phone today that goes to our church. She's going through a really hard time. And she was like, I just feel like I need to be alone. And I was like, she's like, I feel like God is calling me to a season of isolation. And so isn't that so spiritual? And I told her, I said, God doesn't call you in isolation. He will call you to separate. But he doesn't call you to isolate. And so isolation is very lonely. It's very dark. It's where your mind festers and the enemy steals from you. Yeah. God doesn't call you to be in a place where the enemy can steal from you.
Right.
And that's something that every season, I feel like that is a battle that I personally will always have to battle just because of my own personality. But don't isolate.
Yeah.
Pull people close. Let people know. Let people in on what's going on. Like find 1 or 2 people that you can trust.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a relationship with them, you are a person that sees people enough to recognize character when you see it. So just say, hey, I know I haven't talked to you, but can I?
That's good.
Bring it to the light.
Yeah, because that's where the enemy steals from us. In darkness, and you can't win in darkness. You only can win in the light.
Yeah.
So
So good.
Oh, that was good. I love how you said separate. Yes, because Jesus separated a few times to go be
with the
his
Lord.
Father.
Yes.
But then he came back.
Yes.
And he did life with people, and he was perfect.
Yes.
So if he's doing that, we surely don't need to be isolating all alone all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a word.
That was good.
She always
Preach.
got a word.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much
Yes.
for being on and just for us to get to hear a little
Yeah.
bit of y'all's testimony as friends. It was
Thank you,
amazing,
friends.
and I think it'll really help a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
So, thank you. So, guys, until next time, peace. Okay, friends, if you have enjoyed this episode as much as we have, please help us spread the word on Facebook and Instagram.
If you didn't know yet, Instagram is where all the fun is at. From dance reels on Wednesdays to spiritual encouragement and laugh out loud posts in between, there is something for everyone.
And last but certainly not least, if you could take a moment right now to stop what you're doing and give us a rating and review, even subscribe to our podcast, this seriously helps other people find us who wouldn't be able to otherwise. Thank you so much for your love and support. We hope you'll tune in next week.